What's up, guys? Sound Alchemist here with
Gersh1,
and we're back at it to answer your questions in another installment of For the Greater
War.
So this is a video series where we answer the questions left by you. If you want your question answered, please comment down below. Put question in front of your question because it's easier for us to get through them that way. So let's get to it.
First up, we have Ryan Hampton asking us, will Guilliman kill Ghazghkull in the next war?
Bum bum bum. You know, that's actually very I guess revealing that we really haven't heard from Ghazghkull Mag or Thraka for a very long time. Basically the Armageddon war, and then we didn't hear from him again until he got his own little
model or supplement.
Yeah. But the lore on that wasn't all that crazy. It was just like, okay, now he's fighting Tyranids. So what's gonna happen next?
It's like, let's inch his storyline over.
Because right now Ghazghkull is in the Ultima Segmentum, which is Guilliman's hood.
Ultramarines.
Yeah, it's Ultramarines hood. But will he fight the orcs? Probably not.
Yeah, right now he's way too concerned beating, or at least pushing back chaos, and making the Imperium to his liking, aka the liking of the Emperor. Right,
and then if anything, orc supplements or orc additions to Warhammer 40K will probably come in the shape of another warlord. Big mech, more than likely, I feel.
Yeah, I agree.
Just because if you look at Dawn of War 3, that's the direction that they're taking it. If you look at all the models, it is more mech-centric.
Definitely, I think in the faction focus they did like a few days ago about the orcs, they were talking about how much better they were in 8th edition.
Yes, I agree. Next question. Sorry. I was thinking about something and it went away. Next question comes from Brandon Ottman. I do want to start off by my first Warhammer 40K figures with a Slaanesh-based army. How shall I start? Which figures? So you want to create a Slaanesh army. What figures to buy? Noise Marines.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Demonettes of Slaanesh. A lot of them are like metal models. Like the old school one, like the, what's that thing? The Fiend with the claws or whatever.
Yeah.
That's a metal model. So I don't know. I'd say maybe look for like other miniature companies, see if they got any like models that look better.
Yeah, you could do that. Also, fantasy, because Slaanesh exists in fantasy. Like you can find really badass looking Slaanesh theme, like models, and convert them over to Warhammer 40K. What that is or what they are, I'm not too sure. Look that up. But my suggestion again is start with a strong figure, with a strong figure, which is the Noise Marines. Next question.
John Doe. Are the Primarchs fertile? I know that Space Marines are infertile due to their gene seed implants, but this doesn't mean that the Primarchs were also infertile, or does it? I'm still new to 40K, but if I remember correctly, Primarchs don't have gene seed implantations themselves. Does this mean that the Primarchs could potentially have children?
Right, so this is a question that we get asked a lot, yeah. So basically, no, they're not. They weren't. Their purpose was not to reproduce. Their purpose was to lead the Great Crusade. You can't do that if you're worrying about reproducing, because that is like a very central part to the human mind, right? But these guys are superhuman, and what makes them superhuman is the removal of that that desire to, procreate. At least that's what I think. So next question comes from Crane Haney. This is just speculation, but is it possible Papa Smurf killed the 2 lost Primarchs and took their armies, giving him inspiration to make his codex? The reason I say this is because in the lore, Big Papa Smurf has nearly 3 times the amount of troops that any Primarch. Did I read that first in the beginning? Did I say Papa Smurf in the beginning or Papa Nurgle?
I don't know, but you're talking about Guilliman.
Yeah, basically.
Yeah.
So, yes, speculation is, I don't think it was intentional. I think, because the way that the legions were brought up is, so the Primarchs were created, they were scattered, but the Emperor still created the 20 legions, and he went on to the Great Crusade with those legions, and then once he found the Primarchs, he's like, all right, this is your legion. They were all Terran-born Space Marines with the gene seed of that specific Primarch. So I think what happened was the Lost and the Damned, their legions were given over to the next best Primarch, which Guilliman was one of them, because, you know, Guilliman.
Yeah.
So, was it intentional? No, but are there other, or are the Lost Primarchs progenitors? No. Are the Lost Primarchs Legion part of the Ultramarines? Yeah. Right?
Yeah.
Cool. Next question.
Mirio Sapi. Do Space Marine warbands do any maintenance? I recently read in the Fabius Bio novel that they do not. They just let it be and slowly go to ruin. So yes and no. I guess if you're more like Khorne-centric, you're just concerned about, you know, getting in there, fighting, getting blood, you know, skulls for the skull throne and all that stuff. So if you're in like the Khorne worshipping stuff, not really. Maybe just maintenance in the fact of like sharpening your blades, your axes. But there is a type of maintenance. You've got the what is it, the Forge of Souls or something like that?
Oh yeah, inside the warp. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's basically a demon forge. You know, basically creating monstrosities, behemoths infused with demon energy, and also getting in any wrecked ones and whatnot and bringing them up to speed again.
Yeah.
So yes and no.
Douglas Mellows. Firstly, thanks for answering my last two questions. You're welcome. Do you think that the Emperor has seen the future, knows he'll survive the Golden Throne, and is waiting for a certain time to come back, seeing as 10,000 years isn't all that long for him, considering how old he is already, and long he could live after he leaves the Golden Throne? So that's a good question. Because he's an extremely powerful psyker, but I do not believe that he has the power of
future vision.
Yeah, future vision or foresight, as much as like as like this would entail, because he couldn't predict that Horus would turn to chaos.
Or if he did predict it, he was kind of just like, nah, that's my favorite son. He'd never do that.
Right. So it's either negligence or just not having the ability. But I think he just didn't have the ability. Mm-hmm. So I don't think that. I think he is like stuck, and he's stuck because if he gives up, the Astronomicon goes away. And
if he gets better, the Astronomicon goes away.
Yeah, so either way, like, he's screwed.
Yeah, he's like stuck in this perpetual limbo of not dead yet not alive. Because no matter what he does, it's going to be disastrous for the Imperium. The thing that he worked so hard to protect and make, you know, great is already, you know, crumbling.
Yeah. That's not to say that he's not, like, actively trying to seek ways to maybe, you know, relieve his position. Mm-hmm. But I think he needs the help of somebody outside of himself to figure out the whole space travel and how not to bring another Age of Strife.
Right.
Next question.
Captain Nips. If you could fix something about the lore, what would you change?
So it's really confusing how the Age of Strife happened. The lore says that it was the Men of Iron, so the AI that was corrupted by chaos that went amok and started destroying humanity. And then another part of the lore says that it was the birth of Slaanesh that actually wiped out the Golden Age of technology, which doesn't make any sense because Slaanesh was born at the height of the Emperor of the Eldar. How could the Eldar be at their height at the same time that the Imperium is at their height with the Golden Age of technology? It doesn't make sense. And the lore is just not very clear in this situation. So if I could fix that, I would say keep the Men of Iron, get rid of the birth of Slaanesh, destroying the age of the Golden Age of technology.
Yeah. I would say, just in general, the whole, like, chaos. They're timeless beings, but they had to be born sometime. How does that even work? Like,
right, and we've actually gotten into discussions with you guys about this because you guys say that no, Papa Nurgle is not the first Chaos God.
It was like Khorne.
Khorne came first. And that Papa's Nurgle was born, or that Nurgle was born during the Black Plague. But that doesn't make sense, because then during the whole Eldar civilization, there was no Nurgle, and that's not true. So
yeah, it's very confusing. Certain citations say it's this, others say it's that. It's convoluted, and it's like there's no real answers. Just we all agree that they're old. It's chaos, right?
Yeah.
You can't put logic to chaos.
Next question. I have one from Orco Feroz. A Daemon Prince can be turned into some kind of archoflagellants, like the Inquisition created when they catch a heretic and imprison a demon in his body and put the tentacles in some ranged weapons. So I don't see a question. Maybe you're saying, can a Daemon Prince be turned to some type of... Okay, so I think I know what you're saying. So, demons possess human or possess bodies, and those are called...
demon hosts.
Yeah, demon hosts. You're asking, can a Daemon Prince be a demon host to, like, a person? And my answer to that would be, yeah, as long as whoever is doing the incantation or the ritual to bind that demon into the demon host is smart enough, and good enough to put that Daemon Prince in there. But again, the Daemon Prince has to already have been defeated, thrown back into the warp, and then brought back through this whole ritual or incantation.
Yeah.
Have we seen it before? No. Right? No, I don't think.
Demon Princes, not specifically. At least not named ones.
Yeah.
And I think you have to be a named... In order to become a Demon Prince, you've got to be named, because you got to be, well known and basically be in the eye, catch the eye of your Chaos God. Yeah. Luis Maurer, are there jokes and a sense of humor in 40K? And do any Space Marines make jokes?
No.
Yeah, I haven't really seen anything, jokingly about them.
Yeah, they're very stoic, so very in the mind of, everything. Something bad's gonna happen, so I have to stay strong, or I have to be prepared.
Right. They don't, I guess their chemical reactions and all that, they don't need a sense of humor to cope with all these negatives and like stimuli attacking them, because they're made for, combat.
Unless you consider the Angry Marines or the Pretty Marines.
Oh.
The next question comes from Javier Reyes. Just where the heck are you guys? Does the Immaterium have its own vault of secrets? Or I think you meant, does the Imperium have its own vault of secrets? Like the craft world inside the web way? The one the Eldar race has. So that's a good question. So we are located within the Immaterium. It's a place in the Immaterium, kind of to the right of Khorne's kingdom. But if you see Nurgle's, you've gone too far. So if you see Nurgle's garden, you gotta turn back.
Yeah, go back around.
We're located right in between there. We have a little sandwich shop right outside too. So if you're hungry, we can feed you. But yeah, basically we're in the Immaterium.
Yeah, we only accept Bitcoin, so...
Yeah, sorry. So no pounds, no euro, no dollars.
This one is by Miko Jolan. Do Tau ever embark onto Space Hulks? Yes, but not very often. And the reason why I can say yes is because in their numberization for their battle suits, there's a certain... there's like a step above just regular stealth suit armor, but below XV8 battle suit. I want to say it's called Code Star. I'm not entirely sure, but basically this is a Tau battle suit that is used in like space tight corridors. I think it even says specifically it's used for like Space Hulk missions and stuff like that. So
pretty sweet. And those were the questions for this week. Thank you guys so much for sending them our way. If you guys have more questions, comment down below. We do this 3 times a week. So, you know, jump on every single one for the Greater Waz and ask us questions.
Yeah, if your question doesn't get answered, just try again the next day. We get tons of these, so sorry if you don't get to it, but keep on doing it. As always, I'm the Sound Alchemist.
Gershwan.
We are One Mind Syndicate, and we are out of here.
Hate runs through my blood.